Welcome aboard the ALP 46 NJT train in Train Symbol 4, where I will be going over the ASES intro and hopefully I don't mess up too badly. This is not in a training center. I did attempt to do this once before, but the route has gotten better. I gotta say it has gotten better, but it still has its shortcomings. So with all that said, let's get into it and how she goes. Let's see how she goes. I mean, when I did it the last time, I was dropping frames from 70 to 1 to anywhere in between, and pitches, stutters, you name it. So, the ASES Introduction. Learn the basics of understanding the ASES. It's basically what it is. It's with the NEC New York to Trenton route. And let's get started.
In this training module, you will be taken through the basics of understanding of the ASES, Advanced Speed Enforcement System. First, let's enable enforcement of the ASES and alerter systems.
Okay, so that's on the back wall behind me. Turn that off real quick. And let's see, what do we have here? Boarding lights on. No, we don't have to touch any of these other ones here. So we need to turn this on and cut that in and cut that in. Okay.
ASES relays signal aspects and speed restrictions to the equipment in the cab. You should always follow in-cab signaling, even if you have not enabled positive of ASES. Now that ASES enforcement has been enabled, penalties may be applied if speed limits are violated or if system alarms are not properly acknowledged. Let's take a look over the onboard equipment to understand how to read and react to them. Most of your information will be displayed on the display in the center of the console. The ADU to the left of the display shows the current signal aspect. The speedometer is to the right of the ADU. Your MAS, or maximum authorized speed, is shown in green around the edge of the speedometer. You should not exceed this. Your current speed is shown in the center. Let's get moving and see how ASES enforces signal speed limits and track speed limits.
Okay, that's changed quite a bit, actually. We've got some green lights here. HEP output closed. Center doors and end doors closed. Come on, back out. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna apply the independent brake. Release the auto brake. The reason why I do it this way, and something I learned back when I started playing TSW4 on console, on my Xbox, when TSW4 came out. And I do this with every train that has this type of braking setup, where you have an independent brake, an auto brake, and throttle is separate. It just, by doing it this way, if you can do it, whatever, you're on a train that you can do this with, you should really do it this way. And regardless of whether you're on an upwards gradient, level gradient, or downwards gradient, you don't want the train to roll when you're, at a standstill unnecessarily. So by doing this, you hold the train in place, and this really applies more towards longer trains and freight trains. Yeah, some passenger trains can be long too, but it's just the amount of time that it takes for the air to either fill the pipe from the front of the train to the back, it takes time, or empty the pipe. And by emptying the pipe, you're applying the brakes. You're filling the pipe, you're releasing the brakes. And when you release the automatic brake, you're basically releasing the brakes on all the cars, including the locomotive. And when that happens, you could roll. And if you're boarding passengers, or even if you're just, in a location where you're loading a train, that's not gonna. I haven't had that happen yet within the train sim here, but it's just good practice. So, brake is cut in. This is already in forward. This I'm not a fan of. The reverser is already placed and ready, and basically all I gotta do is press the gas pedal and go. I'm not a fan of that. The headlights are already set to bright. I mean, really? We'll do that to set the ditch lights to auto, not manual. Auto. Yes. And no rear pantograph we don't have to bother with. Okay. We don't need desk lights. Okay, we're not gonna need any of that. This still hasn't changed. There's no way to make that brighter or dimmer. Okay, let's get started. So we gotta apply a little bit of power here. It's been a while since I've been in any of the NEC trains, so some of them may not allow you to move until you release the independent brake completely.
The ADU is currently displaying a clear aspect, meaning that you are able to proceed, not exceeding the maximum authorized speed.
Hey, we stop at Secaucus Junction. Ooh, that's pretty tight. Wow, is that tight?
Overspeeding may result in a penalty brake application. Always adhere to the maximum authorized speed. ACES allows for operating up to 3 miles per hour over the maximum authorized speed. Any higher, and an alarm will sound. If this occurs, you have 8 seconds to reduce your speed before a penalty brake application. If the maximum authorized speed is exceeded by 6 miles per hour or more, an immediate penalty brake application will occur. To recover from a penalty brake application, move the brake handle into the suppression position and keep it there until at or below the maximum authorized speed. The train does not need to be stopped in order to recover from a penalty brake.
Okay, I'm applying brake and it's still going over the speed limit. Hello? Too much brake. That's why I was trying to use the independent brake, because sometimes, again, not all trains, but the independent brake, if you have it, it'll help slow you down. Wasn't doing it this time. So the speed limit is showing 60 on both the speedometer here and up here. So we can go up to 60 right now. Okay, let's bring that down just a little bit. It's a bit bright for me. It's as dim as I can make it, huh? No, I can't change anything here. Let it coast. It's doing much better this time with the frame rate. So I'm watching here as well as up here at the track monitor and what it's showing up here, because the track speed may show 60, but the speed limit may be 40. Leave it at power 1. Ooh, losing speed, still on an uphill gradient. Okay. I'll give it to power 4. Power 4.
The next signal is displaying a less favorable aspect than clear. When passing this point, the cab signal aspect on the ADU will change in order to conform. When the cab signal changes to a less favorable aspect, an alarm will sound that must be acknowledged. If exceeding the maximum authorized speed, move the brake handle into the suppression position and keep it there until at or below the required speed.
Oh, I got a penalty brake. But this is another reason why I wanted to redo this, because the last time I did this, these labels were not as you see them, and getting this into suppression is not the easiest thing to do. Still don't have any clue as to what this little purple square that keeps blinking purple, white. So I acknowledged the alerter and I put it into what looked like it was in suppression. I'll have to go back and watch the video again, but that's in service. That's service. That's not suppression. It shows 90 up here on the top left corner of my HUD, but yet the speed limit is 35 ish. Now the speed reduction, it looks like a train ahead, so, and a red light after that, so it means we got to stop. Okay, so we got an increase in our speed.
The aspect has now changed to restricted. Not only must you operate at a reduced speed, but you're expected to drive by sight. Be prepared to stop if trains or other obstructions are seen ahead.
Okay. No. Objective not complete. That should not be registering all the way back here. And that is one of the drawbacks, or one of the, I want to say drawback, but it's one of the things that will make things a little bit difficult when you're driving with this type of safety system and this brake arrangement, because the auto brake doesn't release as quickly as the independent brake. So my actual stop waypoint is pretty much at the end of the platform there. And it already registered as me achieving the objective. And obviously I didn't. See, that's showing suppression, but actually it's in the service position. So service is suppression. That's the way I'm seeing it. Now, this is not a very long training scenario, but that's the one thing that, you know, you have to, it's going to take a little bit of practice to get a handle on the speed reductions and how much brake to apply and when to apply it and release it.
Operate to the next station. As always, pay close attention to the maximum authorized speed and cab signal on the ADU.
I should have done that while I was waiting for the door passenger loading process, but I'm watching the gauges here. Give it to Nacho 4, Power 4. And the reason why I was looking out the side window there is to see that the train was moving forward. There's a speedometer that you have on your dashboard, regardless of whether it's a digital or mechanical one, is not always going to give you the accuracy of, yes, I'm moving. No, I'm not moving. It may show 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, you know, looking out the window to see that you are actually moving is much better than looking at a speedometer that may or may not be properly calibrated. Some of these trains tend to be pretty old. So now the speed limit is both 90 on the speedometer here and up here in the top left corner. Come on, come on. And there's going to be a speed reduction to 60 coming up. So I'm not gonna attempt to get it up to 90 because I know there's gonna be a speed reduction. So I'm just gonna bring it up to 50, 55, and leave it there. And hopefully there isn't another speed reduction, because we're going over the bridge here. Okay, we can bring up our speed again. You can see the aeroplane landing at Newark Airport. Another speed reduction coming up. I'm gonna leave it there, let it coast, and let's see, that's how you see how those brakes released. They took a bit to apply and to release. Ooh, another airplane. Busy day today, huh? Well, we'll put this, let it coast. And another speed reduction is coming up. So you need to try and stay ahead of the curve, so to speak. Even though the speed indication is 60 miles per hour, that's the track speed. I would guess, but the actual speed is 50. I gotta reduce my speed again. Come on. You can hear the air hissing, filling the air pipe. Well, now we're at restricted speed here. Leave it at power 1. Yeah. That's showing we're at 25 max. So we are going to be stopping at Newark Penn Station, track 5. Let's see, will independent brake help me slow down? Yeah, okay. Got a little bit of a speed bump, but not much. Ooh. Yep, our stop is coming up. Yeah, it's helping. It's working better this time around. Feels like I've done a lot better this time than the first time I did this, because it was a horrible mess. And again, I didn't know where to put the auto brake lever, because even again, this is not suppression, that's service. But service is suppression. Who knew that service and suppression mean the same thing? I don't know. Okay. I'm guessing that this might end the scenario, but I could be wrong.
That covers the basics of the ASES safety systems. You can always replay this training module if you need a refresher on these topics.
Yep, that's what I thought. I still got my gold star. Look at that. So, that's pretty much it. The very beginning I did overspeed a little bit. But it takes a little bit of practice to get a handle on how these brakes work with this particular train. And it requires a lot of attention, because 8 seconds is not a lot of time to react. And this is a lot more forgiving than if you were doing a run with PZB. That's even more unforgiving. But there you go. That's the introduction to ASES on the Alp 46, the New Jersey Trenton, the NEC route. And hopefully this was informative and useful to any and all. Took a little longer. Well, that's probably because I had caused myself to stop 3 times actually. Yeah. So it took me 33 minutes and 13 seconds. But some of that will get cut off in editing. But anyway, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. If it's your first time here, let me know. Leave your thoughts, comments. What could I have done different, better, worse? By all means, subscribe, share, and smash that thumbs up like button. It does let me know, and it does help in letting me know when I just repeated myself. Well, I'm being P and repeat. Anyway, thank you for being here. Hope to have you back again. And that said and done, I'll come back now, you hear? Bye-bye for now.